What is going on, all you wonderful A-Plusers out there? It is I, Stuart, here, once again with another review for you guys. This time, I'm going to be talking about the Knuckles TV show on Paramount+. Just to let you know, this is going to be an extremely short review because there is very little I can say about the show. Not because it's bad. In fact, I did find myself enjoying it more than not, but it's just such a hard show to talk about because this is, on the one hand, yes, it is a spin-off of the Sonic movies, but on the other hand, it's really not even a Sonic show. Like, it's not even really much of a Knuckles show either. It's really more just the Wade show where Knuckles just happens to be kind of the mentor figure. Wade is the one who gets the character arc. Wade is the one who goes on the hero's journey, whereas Knuckles just kind of plays the role of the mentor, except for a mentor that doesn't die at the end like a majority of other mentors within a hero's journey. And with that all being said, it's a fun show. It's one that I think that if you go in knowing what to expect, you will probably have a decent time. You also got to understand that this is very much a show aimed at a young audience. In fact, at a lot of times, it very much gave me kind of the vibe of a Nickelodeon sitcom such as Ned's Declassified or Drake and Josh or Kenan and Kel. It very much feels in line with those, just with a slightly bigger budget. One of the other positives I can definitely say about the show. So a lot of people do bring up that the show clearly had a limited budget because we only get Sonic and Tails in the first two in the first episode, and that within the show as a whole, there's not as much Knuckles as you would expect. Clearly, it's because these characters are very expensive to animate. However, I gotta give the show a lot of credit because it definitely knows how to work with its limited budget in very creative ways. We get a really epic flashback of Knuckles' backstory, which was only really kind of hinted at in Sonic 2, but we get in more detail. However, it's presented like a very cheap stage show, but in a very, very creative kind of manner. One thing to also note about this is that, yes, there are villains in the show, but really the main focus of the show isn't about saving the world, it's about winning a bowling tournament. I'm not kidding. This basically ends up kind of being like a cross between Kingpin, the Big Lebowski, and Dodgeball. In fact, I believe in this show, the broadcast, the company that's broadcasting it is USPN 8, the O Show, which is the exact same thing from Dodgeball, which isn't a real thing in real life. So does this mean that Sonic the Hedgehog is connected to the Dodgeball universe? And if so, are we going to get a crossover? Is Ben Stiller going to be teaming up with Dr. Robotnik in the next episode, in the next Sonic movie? I don't know. Possibilities are endless now. Apparently, this has become a bizarre cinematic universe that I am now more intrigued than ever to see more about. Obviously, I'm joking. This was obviously probably just a reference and nothing else, but that would be a funny thought if Dodgeball and Sonic are in the same universe. Just saying, that would be funny. But overall, again, I don't think this is a bad show. The comedy works pretty well in the beginning when it's just Wade and Knuckles, mostly because of the way the two contrast each other. Knuckles is very much a cartoonish, over-the-top warlord who is literally from out of this world, whereas Wade is a bit of a grounded man-child with not really that much ambitions apart from winning a bowling tournament and hoping to reconnect with his father who abandoned him as a young kid. However, I feel like that contrast kind of goes away when we are introduced to Wade's family, and they end up being kind of just as over the top as Knuckles is as a character. And so the fun dynamic of contrasting out of this world with grounded characters kind of goes away when suddenly every character becomes super out of this world, including a character that we were introduced to in the first episode who was Wade's bowling partner, now turned bounty hunter, and even he kind of goes over the top with his method of trying to kidnap Wade in order to turn him in for a bounty. So essentially, after like the third episode, the whole world kind of becomes a cartoon just played by live action actors because they couldn't afford to like actually animate this series, I guess. But again, overall, had a good time watching it, but that was because I kind of knew what to expect. If you go in this hoping that it's an actual Knuckles show, hoping that this is a series that will really expand the lore of the Sonic universe, you're going to be extremely disappointed. Those of you who are really hoping that this might even like kind of tie into Sonic 3 or give us some hints as to what's to come, kind of like a Marvel movie. You won't get that at all. This is very much a standalone story, and I would be shocked if it even got referenced in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So had a good time. Very much not a show that I think Sonic fans want, but I think it's a show that if you are just a casual Sonic player who maybe loves the movies but doesn't know much about the game lore, I think you'll love this show. Or not love it. I think you'll enjoy the show the same way I did. Good, not great. Do I want a season 2? Not necessarily. Am I against the idea of a season 2? Not necessarily. I just thought it was fine for what it was. I think they probably should have marketed it to be more honest, that is. Like maybe calling the show Wade and Knuckles, which also could have been a fun nod to, you know, the Sonic game Sonic and Knuckles, which was literally an attachment that you could put on Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, you know? So essentially, what you could do with that metaphor is that you have a Wade show that just happens to have Knuckles attached to it, which is pretty accurate. But yeah, it was just okay. But at the end of the day, guys, these are just my A+ opinions. We here at A+ Opinions always want to know what you guys think. So definitely let me know your thoughts of the Knuckles series. Sorry this review was really short, but I just didn't have that much to say about it. So I apologize. But yeah. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and above all, keep it A+, and I will see all of you amazing human beings later. Goodbye.